Hi, my name is Nick, and this tooltip is on creating a double veneer wall. Having a brick or stone base applied halfway below a siding or stucco veneer can be done in Veneer by taking advantage of the trim command. So let's take a look at how we can accomplish this. I'm going to go into my 2D plan view. So I'm going to go back into 2D, and in my catalog panel on the right hand side, I can see that we already have a double veneer wall created, and it is underneath the stucco veneer. So it's going to be applying a stucco veneer to the top and then a stone base to the bottom of that. So if I select that option and I go right click and I say add element, this will adopt the properties of that particular wall. And I want to change this up a bit, so I'm going to call this 2x6. I'm going to call it wood siding, and I'm going to say wood siding. And I want the base to be, we'll keep that as a stone base. What I do want to adjust is the other properties based on this wall. So right now we're saying that this is going to be a 2x6 wood siding wall. So this is what's going to create that top part of the wall. So this is going to create the width of that wall, the veneer thickness, all of that is going to be calculated based on these properties. This part of the wall is actually controlled by a trim. So we want to make sure that this looks correct, and then we can adjust the trim base as well. So let's go into the appearance tab, and I want to make sure that that is no longer stucco, that it is going to be a wood siding. So I'm going to go into my materials, and I'm just going to go into wood, panels, and I'm going to select a new panel siding for my design. And I'm just going to change this to be one of these options, and I can say OK. And that it now applies a different material to that wall. Now under the trim tab, this is where I'm controlling the actual trim base. So if I look at the application, we can apply a different trim package to the left interior surface, the right interior surface, and the exterior surface. So if I select the exterior surface application, I can scroll down in that list, and not only can I apply a crown molding or a chair rail or any kind of a windowsill or any kind of trim around an opening, I can also add in a custom option. And by default in Veneer, we have a 36-inch stone base option created. We can delete that out, and we can hit select to create a new one. And in here we're going to see that this is going to bring us into our catalog access, which will allow us to add or select different options. So here I'm going to go down to the masonry base, and you can see here that we have a 36-inch masonry base or a 48-inch masonry base. We also have a 36-inch and a 48-inch stone base. And again, these are just trim packages that are being added in. You can right click and say add element and create your own brand new stone base if you need to. I'm going to use just the 48-inch stone base, and I'm going to say OK. The next thing we're going to look at is how this trim is being applied to this wall. So as you can see right now, it's taking the top of the trim and it's putting it towards the bottom of the wall. So I want to adjust this so that it is the trim base point is the bottom of the trim. And you can now see that it moves that trim base point to the bottom and it lines it up with the bottom of the wall. But I also have a floor that I need to cover up. So I want to make sure that I offset this down, we'll say 1 foot. And this will drop that trim down 1 foot so that it sits below the base of our wall, that 1 foot distance. As you can see, we have a concrete chair rail applied to the outside, so that way we have an area for the water to shed away from. So that is actually being set to 2 foot 3.5 inches. I'm just going to make that 3 foot, and that should bring this up for us to sit on top of our wall. So since we have that as a 48-inch, which is 4 feet, we've dropped it down 1 foot. It now needs to sit at least 3 feet high, and it is 3.5 inches thick. So we need to add in that 3.5 inch value. I can then say OK, and that's now created that new wall in our catalog. Now what I can do is I can select the walls that I want to adjust. And I'm just going to select these walls right here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say replace. And I'm going to change that to be that 2x6 wood siding with stone base. And I'm going to say OK. And now when we look at our exterior view, we can now see how that wall is going to look. We hope this tooltip helps you moving forward. If you like what we're creating, be sure to subscribe for future videos. If you have comments, please let us know below. Thank you.